Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. We're going to learn today how we built over $1 million of assets by the time we were 33. And I think it's a pretty simple plan. In fact, we've built a business around that plan, helping other people how to do it. It's called the Cash Calf concept. The business is Cash Calf, and today we're just going to talk about the concept of what is a cash calf and how you can do it. Now, a lot of people say this kind of thing, but if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm pretty good looking, but not the smartest guy in the world. So, if I can take a concept and do something like this, I know that many, many other people can as well. And the truth of the matter is it's not that hard. You just have to be consistent. Consistency is probably key over everything. It doesn't matter what self-development book you read. If you get down to the nitty-gritty, that nitty-gritty is that you have to be consistent over a long period of time. If you've ever tried to lose body fat, you know you have to be consistent in that diet over a long period of time. If you've tried to gain muscle, it's the absolute same thing. You have to lift, progressive overload, eating enough food, consistency over a long period of time. If you've had rocky paths in your relationship and you're working on that, it takes time, it takes consistency. And I can guarantee if you ask any business owner out there, really what got them to where they are, they found the right thing and then they were consistent at it. Now, they also probably had to adapt and overcome. And we're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about all of it. So I'm sure you've heard of a cash cow, right? So cash cow. Now, this cash cow is a business that has been built over a long period of time, and it produces big greens. Okay. So this business might be pretty old. Doesn't matter how old it is. It's just old enough that they've gotten to where there's employees, and it kicks out some money. And the business owner themselves, they don't have to do much in the business anymore, if anything. Maybe they don't do anything at this point. They just pull a dividend. Totally fine. Well, back when I was just married, going to school, working a job, thinking about starting a business, this part was so far away in my mind, it would take decades to get there. And that really bothered me because I wanted to be there now. I'm not very patient. I wanted to be there now. Well, I knew that wouldn't work. So what I thought is, what if I could just scale down the cash cow concept and just make something little, just like a side hustle. Now, this isn't a new concept. A side hustle is definitely not a new concept. But in my mind, I went, well, I don't want a hustle, because I'm already hustling at school and working and had a kid and married and about to start a business, and I'm hustling in a lot of places. So I don't need something else to hustle. I need somewhere else that I can be really smart and efficient with my time and manage it to where it makes us a little bit of money. So a cash calf, it's a calf, it's a little cow. Little cows, they don't produce as much as big cows. You got to give them some time. You got to give them some nutrients. You got to give them some love. Get them there. So we decided to come up with. The idea was a rock climbing gym. Now, the idea wasn't our idea. It was actually our boss's idea at the time. He owned a gymnastics center, and there was just this big empty wall up there. And he thought it would be great to put up a rock climbing wall. And I thought it'd be great to run a business right now. And this all seems to work out perfect. I'll work during the day, we'll open it up at night, this and that. It seemed all good, and wrote a contract up and went through all the steps. Now, you can figure out all the steps. The truth is, anybody can figure out the steps and make this happen. You can hop online and find out that you need to get an LLC or set it up as some business entity, and you need to get insurance and all those little steps. That can all be found out. That's not the tough part. The tough part is pulling the trigger and actually making it happen. So we made it happen. we signed the contract, we bought the rock climbing holds, we built the wall, we bought the shoes, we became website runners, marketers, rock climbing instructors. We became all this all at once. We just dove in and started it and made it happen. Now, what was cool is because we had done enough research, we knew that in our community something was needed. We also knew that we would put in as much work as was needed to make sure that that stayed profitable from the very beginning. Once we got our initial loan and built it, we never needed another cash infusion until we built our own building many years later. So we were able to take this idea, and it was positive cash flow every single month for the last 14 years. Is that going to happen in every business? No. Have we started others that have not positive cash flowed every month? Yes. But I want you to know that it's possible. Now, what happened over time is we were able to start building a few of these. And there were difficulties and there were challenges, and we had to go to seminars and workshops and talk with other business owners and figure it all out, because there's not a book that says, hey, Tom and Sally, you're going to start this and this. Here's your book, and it's going to tell you everything that you need to know. It's just not like that. If it was, a lot more people would be out there starting businesses. But my concept was, if we could start enough of these cash calves, and maybe they only produce one of these, $1 bill, where one large business would take 3, or would make 3, maybe we can do 1 here, and then we can do 1 here, and then we can do 1 here. Now then I started to also just kind of play with this a little bit, and these businesses can start to become symbiotic with each other. One can play into the other can play into the other, and they can circle back around. So one thing that we have created, I guess you could say 4 of the businesses that we have, we put together into one. So we have a fitness gym, and we have a rock climbing gym, a retail area, and a yoga gym, a yoga studio. Now those all play off of each other in this, you could call it circle of gains, okay? And the idea with every single one of these is value creation, adding as much value as possible to the customer. And I would say, if there's anything that we've done ever that has been the best thing for us, it has been to focus on the value given to the customer. I want to make sure from the very beginning that if that customer comes in and they're giving $10 to be there, they're leaving with $12 worth of value. Now I know that's kind of hard to put dollar value on fun, but it could be experience, it could be product, it could be whatever it is. I want to make sure that when they go to leave that review, they've really thought, maybe it wasn't the best time I've ever had, but I did only pay $10, and I couldn't have gone and paid that somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying to discount yourselves out of business. I'm not saying to give a bunch of discounts and all of that. What I'm saying is add enough value to their experience that they can't go get that anywhere else. I'll explain that more in future videos. But to just kind of wrap up the cash calf concept, it is that you are going to create something small. Now, small is not a bad thing. Small Small is controllable. And in the beginning, you want controllable. So you're going to have small. You are going to have lean. There's a book called The Art of the Lean Startup, or it's just called The Lean Startup. Great book. You're not going to get into this with a $5 million loan. You're going to make sure that this is sustainable and profitable before you ever go very much further. Small, lean, and value. Value driven. Value driven. You are going to focus everything you've got on creating value for those very valuable customers. I remember some of our first customers, they would come in and we're like, thank you for being here. Because we didn't know in the beginning if we could make it happen. We were willing to take that risk. I'm very, very glad that we did take that risk. But we were so grateful for each and every one of those. So you're just gonna start it out small. That's totally fine. Lean, value driven, and you are going to treat it like an experiment. Meaning, you're learning, and you've never done this before. This is literally just an experiment. So, to keep this very easy, say you're selling tacos, and you're like, hey, I think that this green sauce is gonna be really good. And you put the green sauce on, and someone goes, ooh, I really like this green sauce. You go, okay, cool. And the next 4 people go, I don't like this green sauce. Well, I think your experiment has just delivered a result that most people, at least 4 out of the 5, didn't like your green sauce. Now, don't get hung up on the emotion of that first person, and don't get hung up that it's your grandma's secret recipe. It's okay to go out and get a different green sauce. That's the experiment, and you have to be open to that experiment. And this, you're gonna learn a lot about yourself. In business, you learn a lot about your ego. Because if you have an emotional attachment to that green sauce, you might hold on to that green sauce until it puts you out of business. When all you had to do was go to Costco and grab some red sauce. It's what people wanted, but you wanted to keep your grandma's green sauce. Now, there's some things you could do. Now I'm starting to like get some ideas on how we could market grandma's green sauce a little bit different. There's different things you can do, but I'm not gonna get there. We're gonna keep this small in the beginning because you have a whole nother life, and you do not need to come and hustle hard on this one. You need to hustle around the more important things in your life, which is staying sustainable, your family, God, country. Those are the things you need to hustle on right now. This is your side deal, and you're gonna continue this as your cash calf until it produces enough that it becomes your cow. All right, so you're gonna keep it small, you're gonna keep it lean, you're gonna keep it value driven, and you're going to approach it as an experiment. And that's honestly about it. Every big business that you see right now, that's kind of how they all started. Even the big ones like the Walmarts and the Apples and the Dells and all of that, they started small. They were lean in the beginning because they had to be, especially some of the tech guys. They were running things. They couldn't get that big money. It was a scary time for all of those people. They were charting completely new waters. It has to be value driven because who's going to buy a ketchup popsicle? There's not a lot of value in it. One of the best movies of all time, by the way, Tommy Boy. Your dad could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. And then the last one is experiment. This is your lifelong experiment, and it's one that's well worth it. So now you guys know that I am a very great artist, and we'll just continue to pump out some content. I'm also sorry about my voice. I've been sick for the last few days, but this is good times. These are great times, and you're going to do really great things, and we'll chat soon.